Nurses are frequently challenged to make ethical decisions in complex situations. Welcome to Chapter 6, Ethics Applied to Nursing. In this video lecture, I will discuss ethical issues of concern in healthcare today and talk about the differences between personal and professional ethics. I will also discuss the ethical responsibilities of nurses and describe common terms related to ethical healthcare. Throughout this lecture, think about all the ethical issues that a nurse faces daily. The 21st century presents numerous ethical issues in healthcare as medical procedures become more advanced. Some of the most common ethical issues include those related to surrogacy and in vitro fertilization, organ donation, abortion, assisted suicide, and use of stem cells. Have you ever encountered any of these? Additional ethical issues will arise as scientific research continues to evolve. Ethics is a system of standards or moral principles that direct actions as being right or wrong. Ethics is concerned with ways people decide if one ought to do something or if one has the right or the duty to do something. Morals are closely tied to ethics. Morals are concerned with the right or wrong behavior, conduct, or character. In this chapter, ethics and morals are used in the same way. Values are very personal and involve the worth you assign to an idea or action. Values are freely chosen and are affected by age, experience, and maturity. Our values continue to be modified throughout our lifetime as we acquire new knowledge and experiences. Based on values and experiences, one's own code of ethics can shift. For example, perhaps a nurse was against organ donation until he or she cared for a patient who received a donated organ. Professional ethics are those that must be followed in one's professional life. For example, nurses follow the American Nurses Association Code of Ethics. Personal ethics are those ethics we each identify with in respect to everyday people and situations. Nursing ethics are professional ethics. These are the values and principles that govern nursing practice, conduct, and relationships. A code of ethics provides a guideline for what nurses do, but do not carry the weight of the law. If ever there is a conflict between ethics and the law must be followed. Nursing ethics are similar to, but also different from the legal aspects that regulate nursing practice. Law is the minimum ethic that is written and enforced. This slide compares the differences between legal ethics aspects and nursing ethics and is also found in your book on page 77. The next two slides describe ethical standards of the National Association for PN Education and National Federation of LPNs. Some of those standards include knowing and understanding your scope of practice, keeping patient-client information confidential, providing care to all patients regardless of race, culture, disease, etc., staying informed, and striving to deliver the highest quality of care. You can review these more on your own. Your personal code of ethics influences your nursing ethics. Remember, though, that as nurses, if we have a personal ethical conflict, we are obligated to follow professional ethical standards and, most importantly, the law. Adding the nursing process and critical thinking to nursing education curricula changed the nurse's focus to seeing the patient as a whole and not just as a disease process. Nurses are part of the interdisciplinary team, but also have unique responsibilities. Those responsibilities include advocating for your patient to do what is in his or her best interests, holding yourself accountable for your practice, and reporting patient safety concerns and system-based issues. Learning about ethics helps you as a nurse understand your role in making ethical decisions as they arise. Listed here are several ethical principles that you need to know and understand. I'll discuss each of these in a bit more detail on the next slides. Non-maleficence means to do no harm. Listed on this slide are things we do as nurses to prevent harm to our patients, such as checking the 6 rights before giving medications, using S-bar to communicate, raising side rails, and leaving the bed in the lowest and locked position. Beneficence means to do good. This means to put the good of the patient before yourself. Examples of beneficence include that you do not go off duty without reporting on your patients, errors are reported immediately, and patient care always comes first. In my previous role of Nursing Director of Critical Care, there were many times I practiced beneficence when I needed to postpone my administrative duties to help with patient care. Beneficent paternalism is a disrespectful attitude towards the patient, and it implies an "I know what's best for you" attitude without considering the patient's knowledge and wishes. This can be avoided if the patient is involved in planning their own care and providers really listen to what the patient is saying. Autonomy is the freedom to choose. Autonomy means that patients have the right to make their own decisions and must be provided with enough information to do so. Patients have the right to consent or refuse treatment. They also have the right to privacy and to have their religious or cultural beliefs respected. Sometimes autonomy can be challenged. If the patient is an underage child and the parents are refusing a life-saving treatment, the healthcare provider can go to court and ask that the parent's decision be overruled. Fidelity means to be faithful to acting in the client's best interests. Breaching confidentiality or speaking disrespectfully about a patient are violations of fidelity. Justice means delivering fair and equal treatment to all patients while recognizing and avoiding personal bias. This means that nurses provide the same standard of care for the patient that caused an accident and to those that were injured in the accident. Most healthcare organizations, such as hospitals or senior living facilities, have an ethics committee to assist with ethical decisions. This is a multidisciplinary team that provides recommendations that are expected to be given serious consideration by those making decisions. Legal standards are based on written law. Laws are rules that we must follow. Ethical standards are based on human rights and wrongs. Something can be legal, but not ethical. Legal standards are written by government officials. Ethical standards are written by societal norms. In the Western world, societal norms have dictated certain rights of people that influence healthcare decisions. All individuals are free to make their own decisions regarding healthcare, including decisions about their own body, the right to choose alternative treatments, and the right to refuse treatment. To summarize, ethics is concerned with right and wrong. Nursing ethics provides guidelines for making ethical decisions in nursing. Regardless of personal or professional ethics, nurses are required to follow the law. At the end of your next clinical day, take time to reflect on how you responded to patients. Did you advocate for your patient? Did you practice non-maleficence? Did you provide justice for all? Thank you for listening to this lecture. We can discuss more in class if you have additional questions or concerns.